the next game that you've listed, which is the incredible Final Fantasy VIII.
Yes.
You know?
Probably the game I'm most defined by in terms of, if anyone knows me, I am a Final Fantasy VIII aficionado. Like, I think that's on my Twitter bio. But yeah, 8 is, so if Zelda was the game that sort of got me into gaming, 8 then just, that was the rabbit hole I fell down.
Yeah.
And I actually remember seeing it at a friend's house first.
Gotcha.
My friend Kane, and we're still friends to this day. And it was disc 1. It was just before the carnival, so coming up to the end of disc 1. And I remember playing it at his house, and I was like, immediately, I was like obsessed.
Oh, I love it.
So I got a PlayStation 1 for Christmas that year, and Final Fantasy VIII was the game that I asked to have with it. So this was obviously, I had missed 7 and gone straight to 8, which usually, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, has quite an impact on where your favorite tends to fall.
Yeah, apparently.
But it's also one of those games where you're like, you're never quite sure if you should say that you're a Final Fantasy VIII fan or not. It's become a lot safer these days. And I know Ben Styles already taken the glory, but there is like this little contingency of us that are, 8 is the one.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, even to this day, like 8 is my all-time favorite video game.
Yeah.
Even if, for all of its flaws, and the junction system is not a flaw, by the way, you just didn't read the instructions.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, 7,000 health before you get off disc 1 if you just learn how to junction properly.
Exactly.
It's good.
Just need to draw. Just need to draw more.
There's the fish on the beach just out of Blam. You can get so many cures out of them. Just junction cure to HP and you are golden. It's fine. It's not hard.
Exactly.
If my little 12-year-old brain could figure it out, it must have been okay. They had auto junction. It wasn't even hard.
I know. It's interesting with 8 because I was the same. 8 was my first. Yeah. And it was something about the fact that they were adolescents. Yeah. They were teenagers in this game. And the women who were in it were so strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as well, a big thing for me with games has always been, once I finish playing, does that game feed my imagination? Does it feed my brain in some way that when I put it down, I'm still thinking about the world that it put me in? The music, for me, resonates incredibly strongly. So 8 managed to tick all these boxes really up until besides Zelda, that no other game had kind of done, where I would turn it off and my brain was just wanted to be in that world. Yeah. And I certainly have resonated with 8's world more than sort of the ones that have come after it. 10 I was a big fan of, but it was this ability to put itself into my brain. And then, this was around the time that the internet starting to come up. So you're starting to be able to look at stuff on the internet and, using Napster to download MIDI versions of the Balam Garden theme tune, because Spotify certainly didn't have it uploaded onto there. Or just trawling for artwork. Yeah. Because Japan really didn't put much out in terms of key art. And then
so sadly,
there really wasn't like there is now, but you would just be looking for anything. And fan art was such a big thing. And fan fiction was still such a big thing back then, because that's how much you craved the world.
I really lived into the witch vibes, with the sorceress vibes with Final Fantasy VIII. Adia was such a great the whole dynamic between Adia and Cypher, who you've actually mentioned as one of your favorite characters as well.
Incredibly sad, tragic character, but I always thought more. It's a really good bad guy. Yeah, because it's sad. Yeah, they're not meant to be a bad guy. No, which is why for me it was Quistis. I've always sort of gone more for that stoic female character that is independently strong, is not necessarily a love interest. I get a little bit sick of female Final Fantasy characters whose main point is to be a love interest. Yeah, exactly. So I tend to resonate with some of the more independent ones. For whatever anyone thinks of the series, Lightning for me is still one of my favorite characters. Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of 13 or 13-2, although Lightning Returns is in my top 5. Yeah. But as a character, that's the sort of what I was craving. Yeah,
they really managed to capture how influential she is, and how they did that Louis Vuitton campaign and Prada, and she's really is such a powerful character. They really nailed her with just how just how to, like, the feminine gaze. Like,
yeah, and but it was just, she didn't revolve around being someone's love interest.
Exactly.
I don't like Rinoa.
Yeah.
Despite being a huge 8 fan.
Yeah.
I don't like Garnet, although I'm not a massive fan of 9, to be honest. Yuna's better in 10 too than I found her to be in 10, even though 10 is, again, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And, as much as I like games like 15 and 16,
I know.
there's not an awful lot for me as a person. So
it's so true. But
8 came with a host of fleshed out female characters that I felt sort of gave there's a little bit of something for everyone, which I thought was really well done.
And then 14 just blew it out of the park.
Well,
with
14
the leader,
just gave me the option to be the character that I wanted to be, although I wish 14 had that sort of slightly more Mass Effect-y side to it, where, like, what you pick has this effect.
Yeah.
Because that's the closest I'll ever get to being that badass.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, Merle Webb is, like, goals. I love her. She's so strong and so just... Yeah, but there again, I have only played through A Realm Reborn, so I don't know.
I'm casual. I'm up to date. Latest patch. Well, I say latest patch. Me and my free company decided we always play on a Tuesday. So I was playing with my free company, but instead of doing the latest patch, we went fishing and did treasure maps. So I'm almost up to date.
Yeah.
I finished 4.5. I haven't started 4.6. I took a bit of a break, but yeah, I'm a casual sub 2,000 hours because I don't raid. Yeah, but I've played since Realm Reborn.